welcome to episode 34, Sweetness of Scar Bears. I'm Chris D.T. Gordon. It is fantastically awesome that you are here today. Nate Barron and Britton Barron, making the impossible possible, making me look and sound better than I have any right of doing. If you want them to work their magic on you and your creative projects, you can find them at Nate Barron. And speaking of creative projects, I am so excited that I am going to be featured in a book. Blue Talks has released not one, not two, but 3 volumes of inspirational stories, and I am included in volume 3. If you want to pre-order your own copy of Blue Talks Presents Business, Life, and the Universe, Volume 3, and maybe Volumes 1 and 2 as well, you can find it at BLU, B-L-U, talksbook.com. So please check that out. I want my story to be shared and enjoyed and to be a help to anyone who can take some meaning from it. Well, today, speaking of inspiration, I talked with my new friend, David Figueroa. He, like me, is a teacher of middle school students and a fitness enthusiast. However, he is so much more of a warrior than I am. He has been battling cerebral palsy all his life and has been making extraordinary strides in not only his own improvement in physical fitness, but helping others do the same. I really hope you enjoy our conversation. Today's sponsor is gas stations. Gas stations. If it weren't for them, what would a bad gift giver do? All right, I hope you enjoy my conversation with David. Hey, welcome to our conversation with David Figueroa. David, how are you today?
I am doing pretty well. Just enjoying the time and enjoying the time for being here. It's an honor and a privilege to be here on Scarborough. Your very nice show that you have going on so far.
Thanks, David. I really appreciate that. And it is an honor and privilege for me to have you here. I have been looking forward to talking with you for some time now. And what I really like is we have quite a bit in common. First of all, we're both middle school teachers. And what do you teach in middle school, David?
I teach English language arts, so reading. I work with kids that are inner city children that have that may come from broken homes. They may have parents that are working full time or parents that may have been caught up in the law, so they need that support in the school system. So that's where I come in. I kind of help, of course, teach reading and English in the classroom, but I also double as a mentor for these children to kind of help them achieve that promise of, hey, if I can work really hard and I can be around this person that is very influential in my life, I have something to look forward to later on.
That's fantastic. And I really applaud you for stepping up and filling that role for them. And so thank you very much. And something else that we have in common is we're both physically active. I like to run and perform in Taekwondo, and you like to lift weights. But I think we have a little different reason for doing our activities. What's your reason for being so physically active, David?
Oh well, in that retrospect, well, I suffer from cerebral palsy. So as you know, being born with cerebral palsy, your body tends to break down quicker if you're not physically active. I believe it or not, I myself in my younger years used to be a three-sport athlete. So I used to do baseball, football, and cycling. And I was also a three-time state champion in cycling. I won 3 state titles from '01 to '03. And the reason I got into fitness or exercise for that matter was because my doctors, of course, they said if I didn't change my sedentary lifestyle, which when I was younger I didn't really exercise, I didn't really think about the damage, the long-term damage I would, of course, obtain by not exercising for years. When they mentioned it to me that I had to really change, and I told myself either I'd end up back in the chair, or I have to do something to better myself, physically, and be able to perform better in the long term. Because as I know it, CP, it doesn't go away. The only way you can manage it is by exercise. By being active and by staying active. So that's kind of why I kind of got into exercising.
I gotcha. And so before I do want to talk about that sedentary session or period in your life, but I do want to get back to that cycling. You said you were a 3-time state champion.
Oh yes, I was. I did the Special Olympics in Florida for that period of time. I competed there for 3 out of the 4 years. I won the state championship. One of the years, I actually competed with a sprained knee because with my condition, I actually had double jointed, so my knee would consistently pop in and out without me knowing. I wasn't in pain or anything, but it was actually pretty spectacular to see. Like, people would ask like why my knee would pop out, but it was because of the disability and the surgeries that I've had that caused it to happen.
Okay. Now, what distance? I mean, what kind of distances are we talking about? You're cycling here.
So I would do a 5K. So it'd be twice around the track, or twice around like a road course kind of. They would have it set up in the championships. So do it twice.
Okay. And so what's your fastest time doing that race?
If I can remember, it would be about 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Wait, you did the lap in 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
That no total, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But the lap, I did it in about a minute and 15.
And that's a 5K?
That would be on the track, going around twice.
Okay. Oh, that's flying. Very cool. And what kind of bike do you use for that?
I used to use a Trek, so the Trek racing bikes with the really thin tires. And what I would do with the bike was, my dad, both my parents used to kind of help me, get the practices and competitions. He figured out a way to take the chair at the time that I had. I used to have a wheelchair, and the footrest that you have. He used to take those footrests and he modified it. So he actually put screws on the footrest onto where you used to pedal the bike on the pedals of the bike. So when he did that, it allowed me to kind of strap in my feet onto the bike and then be able to pedal using my own power. Not only that, but we took the scooters, the wheels for the scooters. He made the rails. He actually put screws on the bike itself, and he made the scooter wheels kind of like assisted training wheels, because my balance, as you know, with CP, isn't that good. So by doing that, I made a racing bike into kind of an adaptive racing bike.
Wow, that's really cool. It's very very ingenious. Now, were they obviously, if they allowed you to use that to race, it was okay to modify the bikes in those ways for the Special Olympics?
Yes, it was. I never got into any issues with it at all. Like, they didn't say anything about modifying or whether it was wrong or not. Because as I feel as you asked that, it brings me back to Oscar Pistorius, which I don't know if you know him, but he used to be a blade runner for the Paralympics.
Yes.
And he used to always get I guess criticism for competing with blades, because he would outrun his competition, which was able-bodied at the time. So I competed there for 4 years. I then took a brief hiatus, and then there was talk about me coming back to possibly compete in the Paralympics, which they were scouting me because I was that good at the time. But my body over the years went through wear and tear. Competing in three different sports, my body was just like ravaged, and I couldn't compete anymore. So I chose what they were offering me a sponsorship contract with a lot of different sponsors and money and an actual professional training facility. But I told myself, what good is competing when your body's ravaged, but you have your mind and you can still influence others, not just competing, but being a professional speaker or being a teacher. So I said, I'll just retire, and maybe in a few years, if I feel good enough, I can go back into it.
Well, that's great. No, I was wondering now, going back to the area in your life when you said you were sedentary. Was that before or after the the time where they're asking you to come back?
That was before. So during the time during when I had come back, I was still, active. I was pretty much in the best shape of my life. I was injury free. I was very, very strong. I could still, hold my own. And it's always good to step back and to reflect how you are physically and to take that break. Because sometimes being an athlete, I know we both have this in common. It can take a toll on you mentally and physically because you're always thinking about your competition. You're always thinking about how to improve. You're always thinking about in what way can I strategize to beat my competition or to do better. And it's hard. It's difficult.
So yeah, that mental block can sometimes be a struggle. And so, what really got you back into the game? What helped you get out of that?
Well, I originally missed it. I missed being able to compete. That thrill of being able to entertain the audiences and just my love and passion for the sport. I always have love and passion for the sport, and I feel like it was a way to show people, hey, I may have CP and I may suffer from this disability, but I have the edge and the hunger of anybody that would like to compete. Any athlete. It shouldn't stop you from achieving success. So that's kind of the main reason why I got into it. I got back into it.
Well, that's I know I see you on Instagram now and on Facebook, and so yeah, I can definitely tell you're back into it. What helped you make the switch from cycling to weightlifting? I know you said that a lot of it was that wear and tear, but what was it about weightlifting that really spoke to you?
I really when I first started, I just had to figure out a way to stay in shape and to better myself. And when I first started, I wasn't really too keen on going to the gym because it was so exhausting. Just to go there and do the routines and um, just getting through it was just completely difficult. But then over time, I started seeing results, little by little of my movement, how I walked, my strength, in general of lifting, whether it be like a backpack or like, garbage bag or any small item in the house that I can lift before or do a certain movement, I started seeing improvement. And then also, by staying in shape, I can, there's a longevity factor. My longevity increases, versus if you're sedentary all the time, you're going to put on the weight, and it's not the good kind of weight either. You're gonna be you're gonna be gaining weight, and it's difficult for you to move around. And I know that for my body, by staying active and staying fit and going into weightlifting, um, I've been able to do better, and I feel better about myself. And I feel by getting into weightlifting, you can see that people are like, whoa, this guy who has a disability, who has cerebral palsy, is lifting all this weight, and it's like I try to do something like that. I can't do it, but it's just a matter of your positive mindset. Having the willpower to step in every day and just getting to it, just getting it done. Just being positive.
I think that is so important for people to know that it doesn't matter what you have going for you or against you, that it's all up here. It's all what you believe. And so
Exactly.
now that you've entered the weightlifting realm, what have you accomplished there?
Well, I've definitely felt an increase in my power. When I used to do cycling, it used to be about a lot about cardio and running. But as you know, as you get older, your body is not the same. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm almost 30 years old, but there's some days where my body feels like it's 40 and 50. It feels like it's breaking down, but it's just part of life. Your body's not going to be the same. You have to find a way to adapt into it.
40 isn't that bad, I'll tell you, David. It's not all, it's not all the horror show that people may make it sound to be. So don't worry about that. But I totally understand where you're coming from.
And I have also learned to manage, I guess, how much I can do. It teaches you limitations. How much you can how much you can lift, how much you can do. Because at the end of the day, it's not about quantity and how much you can do. It's about how well you can do it. Because a lot of people think, oh, I want to go into weightlifting. Weightlifting's all about increasing your weight and doing all this weight and doing it as fast as you can and seeing results quickly. Well, I hate to break it to them, but it's not that's not all the case, and it's not all what it's lived up to be. It's about taking your time. It may take a month, it may take years, but if you learn how to do it properly and safely, you can get the results you want.
Yes, and I think a lot of people, they disregard how much importance should be put upon form, because your body is a machine when it comes down to it. And if the machine is out of alignment, that affects almost everything else depending on what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean it's. I know I've had my fair share of injuries, whether through when I used to do sports or even weightlifting. Just before COVID, I was actually dealing with a lot of injuries from lifting and just from because I travel to work every day, so it was very it put a toll on my body. So um, the last injury I suffered was a lower back injury, and it took me out for about good 4 weeks, good month and a half, and I couldn't lift. And doctor said just to take it easy, um, because I was lifting way too much weight. And I learned my lesson to just slow down. Don't worry about the amount of weight you're lifting, but worry about your form. So I took it upon myself to invest in a weightlifting belt and use it every time I would lift, and it helps a lot.
Yep, it's smart. It's yeah, like you said, when you get older, you have to take those other precautions, and so yeah, I think that's really good. I mean, I think also it's good that you're showing people that it's okay that if you need that extra tool, to get the job done. What matters in the long run is that you do it safely and you do it, as you said, to the greatest quality that you can.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. Well, you have to practice self care. Take care of yourself. That if you don't feel good one day, you don't have to go to the gym. You can just take it easy. And a lot of people think that results come from going into the gym every day, uh, every time of the hour. But in reality, you get results when you're resting after every workout you do. Sleep is important. Diet is important. Sleep, diet, and your mental fitness are essentially 90% of the workout. 10% is physical. If you have your diet, your mentality, and everything else down, you'll see those results.
That's important to hear. So thank you for sharing that, David. So I know that you have your Facebook page and your Instagram account. What is your overall goal with those social media outlets? What do you want to do?
Well, my overall goal with those pages is to hopefully bring about influence to people, be an influencer, show people that regardless of any disability you have, you can achieve any goal that's in front of you. Um, that it's not the end. It's not the end of the world just because you have a physical disability, a mental disability, an invisible disability, which people tend to discredit. There's a lot of people with invisible disabilities out there that are trying to achieve goals, and I want to show that there is no limit to what you can do, regardless of any disability you might have. Um, that it's not difficult to achieve, and it's not impossible. You can do it. So that's kind of why I chose to do those uh, social media outlets, and kind of why I got into it. If I might go into detail, for years I spent time kind of dabbling into it. Uh, I've had individuals, friends of mine, family of mine, that would be like, "Hey, you should get into motivational speaking, or you should get into use your talents to influence others." And over the years, I said, it's not going to get me anywhere. I don't feel like it's going to be a huge influence or huge impact. Uh, and it wasn't until 2018 that I said to myself, the heck with it. Why don't I just go for it, and we'll see where it goes. And I was so wrong. I mean, I've gotten so many messages from people, from parents of their children, saying that they've seen my blog or they've seen my page, and they're like, I wish my child ends up being like you one day. And that's the best part of it. That's the best part of doing this, what I do.
Well, I know I greatly appreciated, seeing you, working out every day and being that beacon of hope and light for everyone. So I greatly appreciate that. If there were one message that you were to give people right now, what would that be?
That message would be that never give up hope on your dreams. Uh, Always remember that people do look up to you, even though you don't think that. Uh, People do value you. People do appreciate you, regardless of disability or any kind of difficulty you face in life. The thing that I use this saying always when I speak in front of different groups and organizations. But people with disabilities, they can be teachers, they can be lawyers, they can be athletes, they can be anything they set their mind to be. It's about what's in here and your heart. You know, if you believe in yourself every day and you push yourself every day, then you will achieve success and you'll achieve your goals. Versus if you pity yourself every day and you're always negative and you don't push yourself to the very limit every day, then you'll fall and you won't achieve your goals. Um, the main of course I've had a major influence in my life, and that was my stepmom. She would always tell me, "Hey, my pity box is broken. You can do it. I believe in you. Don't give up on what you're trying to do." And she definitely pushed me every step of the way, everything I would do. And so I wanna let people around me know that if you have a good positive support system too, they can help you get ahead. Whether it's a teacher, your parents, your friends. That's what's always important. What's always important is your friends and your family. But at the end of the day, it's up to you whether you want to achieve your goals or not.
Excellent. Well, Thanks, David. I greatly appreciate you sharing that. What do you have going on in the near future? What's your next goal?
Well, right now I'm currently well, with the program that I work for in our schools is called AmeriCorps. Have you heard of AmeriCorps before?
I have.
I currently serve with OPAS, which is the middle school side of the program. I have served for 4 years, which is the maximum amount of time you can serve. I'm currently a team lead for my own team, my own group. So I've done that for 3 years. I was the member of the year in 2019. And hopefully, my main goal, the reason I kind of got into public speaking was because of this program. This program helped me jumpstart the what I'm doing now. And after my 4 years is done, hopefully I can go into this possibly full time. I know it's difficult because it's considered self employment. So hopefully that's the case. It's about seeing where the time goes after I finish the program, and we'll go from there.
Excellent. Well, the best of luck in your endeavors, David. And finally, my last question that my audience loves to hear the answer to: what is your favorite dinosaur?
Oh, my favorite dinosaur is a T Rex because they're go getters. They go after everything they want. And I feel like I I can relate to a T Rex because I'm always a go getter and a risk taker, and I always want to achieve. I always want to go after what I want. Whether it's accomplishing that goal of inspiring people, or being fit, or getting back into competition. It's always about being hungry and staying humble, and just thanking the people that got you there every day.
Well, that's a good dinosaur to emulate. The T-Rex, I agree. All right, David. Well, thank you very much for your time. I greatly appreciate the conversation, and please have a great day. Hey, I hope you enjoyed my conversation with David. If you want to reach out to him, you can find him at his website, Linktr.ee/David SCP Fitness 65, kind of like Thunder Kiss 65. I wonder if he's old enough to enjoy that joke. You can also find him on Instagram at David SCP Fitness. He's on YouTube at David SCP Fitness. And you can also find him on his own podcast, Cerebral Palsy and Fitness Podcast. That's on Anchor. Again, please check out bluetalksbook.com to pre-order your own edition of Blue Talks Presents Business, Life, and the Universe, Volume 3, to find my inspirational story and a few others as well. And if you want to get a good deal, you can also purchase volumes 1 and 2 at a discounted rate. Please like, subscribe, share other verbs, my podcast episode here, as well as the YouTube episode, and just share the word. I want my stories to get out to help inspire people, because if a story isn't shared, it's not that, it's not doing its job. So please share these stories. All right, am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. I said the book. I mentioned David stuff. I talked about the website. Feeling good. Oh yeah, if you celebrate, have a Merry Christmas, Merry Kwanzaa, Merry Life Day. I hope you had a great Hanukkah. And if you don't celebrate any of those, just have a great day. All right. Thanks a lot for being here. Pass on perfection and go for greatness.